Hi guys, Forgotten Wolf here, and DK Bananza's been out for a while now. Half a year, really? It took me half a year to make this. Fuck, I'm lazy. Uh, anyway, this game has been. I can't believe it's been half a year, but this game has been very hard to place in the Mario timeline since there aren't a lot of answers regarding the Donkey Kong games. And it's another DK versus Carol game, and then there's a ton of them, so we have to use clues to places in the Mario timeline. When I made this video about a year ago, I left out Donkey Kong Bonanza, but now I'm here to correct it. And let's get into it. Young Pauline's presence in the games confirms several things about my timeline. One, Mario Odyssey is one of the last games in the timeline, something me and many other people in the Mario community have theorized now for a while now. And two, all the Donkey Kong games take place at the beginning of the timeline, just after the Yoshi games, given that Pauline and Mario are around the same age in Mario Odyssey, and Pauline's young here. Another thing I correctly guessed in my Mario timeline, which is great, we're getting actual answers now. I would have put it at the end of the Donkey Kong games, but the reference to Candy Kong and King K. Rool, as well as King K. Rool returning, makes me want to go back and just see where can we definitively place Donkey Kong Bonanza in the Donkey Kong games. Now, we do know the three Donkey Kong arcade games are the very first games in the timeline. And, Donkey Kong Jr., Donkey Kong, and then the other Donkey Kong, the crappy one with Stanley the Bugman. But afterwards, it doesn't make a lot of sense, as we have the original Donkey Kong Country games taking place one after the other, then DK64. Then, a lot of the Kongs disappear and we get Country Returns and Tropical Freeze, where K. Rool also disappears, and it's like the Kongs don't exist yet. Wait a minute. If that's the case, then the timeline would go DK Country Returns, DK Country Tropical Freeze, then the OG Trilogy, then DK64, then Bonanza. In Donkey Kong Bonanza, excluding the DLC, we don't see DK Island, so it's hypothetical that they could be there. They're just the other Kongs, like Lanky, Tiny, Candy Kong. They're all on that island. We just don't see it yet. But this doesn't make sense, as Donkey Kong is a hero in Country Returns. He's described as it, so this kind of creates a paradox, or I'm just overthinking it. This leaves me with two possible versions of the Donkey Kong timeline. First off is the Donkey Kong Country Trilogy, then DK64, then Country Returns, and then Tropical Freeze, and finally Bonanza. This is supported as Donkey Kong seems to be his first adventure in Donkey Kong Country, and we're introduced to Cranky Kong in the main cast. And then it's a natural progression after that. But Country Returns and Tropical Freeze aren't described with very, very much correlation to the other games. And Donkey Kong Bonanza is directly stated, given Candy Kong's presence, directly stated to be after the original trilogy and DK64. And this part makes the most sense, as after DK64, K. Rool would have spent years rebuilding his critter army and getting familiar with the various transformations, and maybe he tried to get other villains to finish Donkey Kong off until Bonanza, where he finally decides to do it himself. The only question mark I have with this version is, where did all the Kongs, like Tiny Kong, Candy Kong, and Lanky Kong, go? My first thought with Lanky Kong, maybe he either went back to where he came, or he went back to Ingot Isle. But then again, we don't see him there, so that's not likely. And as for Candy Kong, I believe she's some kind of model or actress, so maybe that's likely, and Tiny followed in her footsteps. So it's possible. I mean, we don't see Funky Kong in the game, so... Although I'm more inclined to believe Funky's on DK Island, so I don't know. However, what about the other potential version? Donkey Kong Country Returns, then Tropical Freeze, then the Kong family grows as more Kongs start arriving to DK Island, and it's the original Donkey Kong trilogy, where K. Rool is the main villain. Then we get DK64, the last game before Bonanza, where K. Rool is defeated. Oops, sorry. And then he spends time getting transformations, and leading into Bonanza. And K. Rool tries to finish off Donkey Kong with Void Kong before doing it himself, This answers away the Kong's going missing but it raises the question of why Donkey Kong is a hero in Country Returns if he hasn't fought anyone yet. So maybe there's another Donkey Kong game missing in the top, missing there, but yeah, I'm not too sure. Although I'm more inclined to pick option one because in the Yoshi games and the Mario games, the first games in those that saga was the original game, the Yoshi's Island game, and and Super Mario Bros. I mean Mario Bros. Not Super Mario Bros. It was Mario Bros. But yeah. In conclusion, this leads me to believe that Donkey Kong Bonanza takes place at the beginning of the Mario timeline. It's the last game of the Donkey Kong saga for now, and the last game before the main Mario storyline begins. Although it's possible Yoshi's story happens around that time. But if you have any evidence or any theories you'd like to suggest, let me know in the comments. If you want more like this as this video is done, I'll make a theory on who Pauline's grandmother is. And yeah, if you want more like this at 100,000 views, I will do a video on the life of Tywin Lannister, and at 1,000 likes, I'll do a video on the life of Robert Baratheon. But until then, bye.